Alrighty, and welcome back to XMRMY. On today's segment, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what you have to do to get the diff out. This is a 2017 Renegade XMR 570. So it's got the G2 chassis. Basically, I guess that's all the information you need to know, really. So on the last ride, I noticed that my diff was making some noise, and after further inspection, I don't know if you can see inside here, but the I'll use the axle. The U-joint is toast. So we're gonna have to take that all apart, replace the U-joint, and go from there. So as you can see, this side's already done. So what I'm gonna run you through today is how to do this side. So first things first, you're gonna have to crack your lugs. So that's a 17 mil socket. You can use an impact gun. I'm going to be using nothing but hand tools just to show you how easy it is. So once the lugs are cracked, you want to lift your bike up, make sure it's stable, obviously. From there, you take your lugs off. So that's where we are now. So you probably noticed that this bar here, that's what holds your trailing arms. We'll get to that later. But this wouldn't be obviously sticking out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start with the brake caliper. It's the easiest thing to do. So you're going to have two bolts, one here, and then one at the bottom. Now if memory serves me correct, those are 15 mils. Now if you want to make it as easy as possible on yourself, you're going to want to pick up some ratcheting wrenches. Basically what that means is your open end and close end wrenches. So this you'll know is solid if you have those types of wrenches, but I got the ratcheting ones. So basically the inside spins around so you don't actually have to take it off, put it back on, take it off, put it back on. It makes it a lot easier. So we're going to go with the 15 mil. I'm going to break this apart. So the good thing is that, actually you know what, we're going to start with this stupid thing. This little bolt here that seems to be stopping. So that's a 10 mil. Again, ratcheting wrenches is definitely the way to go. Makes it a lot quicker and easier. So I just want to make sure I'm loosening it, which I'm not. Put your nuts and bolts back onto the pieces they came off of, which is what I like to do as well, because then you know exactly where they go. So there's no guessing really. But in the ones that you can't do that, then you just put them inside your bucket. So we'll stick that nut and bolt back in there. One. I'm just going to put that over here for now. And there's one at the bottom, right here. Same thing. Machine loosening. Oh yeah. That's good. There we go. My bike's usually cleaner, usually. Okay, so once that's off, all you're gonna do is slide this bad boy. It's got your brake pads, your brake caliper, all that good stuff. So again, you don't want to lose or forget where these bolts go, so I find it easiest to just screw them back in a little bit so you don't lose them. Good time to check your brake pads. Mine are, you know, near the end of their lives, but we're gonna worry about that a different time. Okay, so we're gonna drop this nut here so we can take the shock out of the way. So with this one, again, not using any power tools, just use a 5/8 and a 15 mil. You're gonna come on one side over here. Now you won't be able to fit that inside there, so you just use the open end. That. Once again, make sure you're loosening. that. What I like to do as well, use some zip ties so you don't lose your bushings or spacers inside the shocks. Okay, so basically from there, got there for now. Take one of these nice neon orange zip ties. And we're just gonna wiggle that around until your bolt comes out, just like that. Set that right there. So now what you're gonna do is it will have a little bit of play. Don't get too crazy with it. You basically just pull that back. You'll probably see a little bit of dirt and rocks come flying out, but basically you just want to leverage it back so you can slip that out. There's a little metal piece in here. Again, make sure you don't lose that. So that's why I put a zip tie in there. You just want to make sure when you go to put it back in, you're not missing parts. So that's it. Some people will actually tie them up, but just for the sake of this video, I'm not going to worry about it. So, you know, kind of sort of clean that up a bit. Okay, so shock's done. Next, we're going to do the sway bar linkage, coupler, whatever you want to call it, don't really matter. Same thing, so 5/8 15. So the one that you're this one, probably have to do a little bit more wiggling. So you basically just want to grab anywhere on your trailing arm. You just lift it, you know, just kind of jiggle it around so you can get that bolt out of there. There you go. The other side's off, so it'll move freely, but when it's your first one, it'll be really stiff. Just be wary of that. So what I like to do again, so you're just putting your bolts back in. Where did I put that? See, that's why it's nice to put it right away so that you don't pull a nick and go, oh, where's my nuts? Do the same over here. Again, it just saves you from having to add a couple extra decades of minutes to your just pulling off random pieces of grass. Okay, so that's done, that's done. Now I'm gonna move on to my axle nut, king nut, crown nut, whatever. So last time I took this off, this cotter pin broke, so it's probably going to be about time for me to get a new one. But anyways, you just gotta pry that into a straight line. Nut. So come on, there you go. So that's it. Just the cotter pin. There's another half to it, but obviously I told you I broke it last time, so I don't have it. So what you're going to need now for your axle nut is a 27 mil socket. So basically you're just going to put that on like that, and then you just take it off. So again, I'm not using any power tools, making it as difficult for myself as possible. Use a breaker bar. The long... Now I think this is the one nut I'm not going to put back on because I have to obviously slide the axle out. I'm not trying to do that when the nut's on. So basically just take your spacer, put it there. Okay, from there, what we're going to do is take the rotor off. Just wiggle it. Yeah, just like that. Yes, this version of the XMR came with 4 discs. So you're going to have to take the rotor off on each side. But anyways, yeah, so... Okay, once you have that nut off... Okay, now what we're going to do is take the trailing arm off, which is what this rod is for. So I've pushed it far enough so I can take the other side off. Now what you're going to do is you're just going to... It's going to want to drop once the rod is out, but that's basically it. Good there. That here. Okay, so from here. There you go. So it just slid out there. Now it's just a matter of finding the right spot to get enough. There you go. Okay. Your axle's out, your trailing arm's off. Now, I wouldn't let that sit too long, suspended like that. So what we're gonna do, grab some rope, cable, anything that just where it goes, you just stick it in like that. Take this, feed that through. Should reach, so just place that at the bottom. And also with that, again, this is just what's easiest for me. You might find a different way to secure those trailing arms. That's the simplest way. Okay, so that's done. How we're gonna do, if I remember correctly, when I drained my differential, I put some fluid back in so it didn't rust. I started last night, so I didn't want it to sit overnight with it and fluid in it. We'll see how much I ended up putting in. So basically with your axles, all you're going to do is you're going to take one side, just pull it out like that. So yeah, that's nice and dirty. Just going to give it a solid tug, just like that. Again, don't confuse them because one is longer than the other. Okay, so this is the fun part. So for the rest, here's the fun part with Can-Am. Well, I don't know if it's like this for every other ATV, but anyways. So to hold the differential into the pinion, you have a pinion bolt, which is right where that wrench is. See that? That's a 13 mil. So you gotta have the drivetrain in park once you get to where you can get to your wrench. And then this is why the ratcheting wrenches are so handy, because then what you have to do is you just want to obviously take it off, but just make sure you don't need to use it again, because once you get to a certain point, yeah, obviously it's just gonna keep, so you can't really retrieve that. But anyways, yeah, so you gotta do the same to the inside, the output shaft, but you're gonna have to get to it from the opposite side. Let's see if I can follow the wrench. So you're gonna go with the wrench. This is your U-joint. Oh yeah, so to line it up, you gotta put it back in neutral. Once it's in neutral, I got the brakes applied, so the front end's not going anywhere. And you gotta rotate it so you can see it. So I don't know if you can see the bolt, but anyways, the bolt, once you've got it where you need it. Yeah, I had to think about it, rather be sure. Slip that onto that nut bolt. Hopefully if you have good lighting. There you go. So it's on there. Try and set it up so you guys can see it. Anyways. So it's on there. So basically what you're going to do, put it back in park so the output shaft and drive shaft do not move. Spot, there you go, where the tranny will let you do what you gotta do, you know? Okay, now we're gonna take the diff out. Woo! So again, if you have power tools, use them. If you don't, this is what you're gonna do. So back to our 15 mil ratcheting wrenches. Just light. Don't matter from which side you do it, but you got a bunch of brace bolts you gotta take off. So start with the simplest one that you can see. So I'll show you where they all are. So there's one there, one directly below it, same thing. The socket and a ratchet for that one. This is going to be overkill, but I don't have another half-inch in this garage. It's in my other garage, and I don't really want to walk all that way because, hey, I bought an ATV and I ride that everywhere, so why would I walk anywhere? So now what you're going to do is come up here, get that. So that's, and not 15, but I got a weird feeling it's the 13. And it is. Okay, so this is the fun part. So you got to take your wrench, kind of finesse its way into there. Over top of buying a new diff. Plus I'm cheap, so close in, it should stay. Yeah. See that. There's some more dirt. Just hide. Dirt. I know I want to keep my floor nice and clean, obviously. Okay. You just got 2 more to do. Now again, finesse your way. You might be able to, yes you can, get to it from the outside. Just use the angled end. Put that in like that. So bad. Oh, there's your nut. There's your washer. There's my wrench. More wrench. Now without tipping this too much, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Otherwise, I seem to have wedged it. There we go. Problem solved. Just like that. Where's your diff? There's a U-joint. Oh yeah. So anyways, thanks for watching. That's how you take your drive shaft and diff out, your axles. I guess you can do really anything at the back end with that one video. It kind of shows you how to do it all. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Remember to subscribe, and yeah, should be more good videos to come.